Hello, you all. Welcome to In Pursuit of Life with Sabrina. Today, I'm going to update you on a video chat I just had with my pulmonary hypertension doctor. Well, it's with his PA. I just had some scans done, so I'm going to talk about some things and some frustrations that I am experiencing. Well, for some of you all that y'all are new to the channel, and I want to thank you for joining the channel or subscribing to the channel. You haven't joined. You've subscribed, and I appreciate it. And those who've already been subscribers, thank you. Now, the reason I call it In Pursuit of Life is because I feel like I've been trying and fighting to stay alive most of my life. I've had symptoms, I've had concerns, I've had pains, I've had near-death situations that I don't feel have been taken serious enough, and I don't think they should have gotten to the point that they've gotten. So first of all, I'm going to start, I'm going to tell you about them. The heart defect we just found. I used to pass out as a child just doing the fitness stuff. I loved running and I loved physical fitness, but I would get woozy and pass out or almost pass out. Nobody ever checked my heart. I mean, they would do the normal stuff, but nobody said, there's got to be, or I don't know if they did or not because I was a child. Y'all need to get a heart check. Something's not right. So I grew up like that. Had my children, just if I overexerted, my chest would hurt. And right here, right where that right ventricle is overloaded. When I was pregnant, my second child, my daughter, one of my daughters, I would pass out. I would get to a point where I get so wheezy I pass out. They said it was low blood sugar, yet it wasn't showing low blood sugar on the test, on any of my blood tests, but that's what they attributed to instead of, whoa, wait a minute, let's check this girl's heart. And so then with my third child, my other daughter, I almost died twice while they were getting me ready to do an emergency C-section for her. My heart stopped twice. And nobody said, this is really dangerous. I did see a cardiologist. They did do some stuff, but they didn't find the congenital heart defect. And they didn't do an echo. And I would ask, is there something more you can do? Well, we don't really need to do it. Yet I'm having these symptoms, have had near-death situations, no big deal. Cancer, the lump that was growing up here since probably when I was about 33. We didn't find it till I was 40. They didn't find cancer until I was 45 because I have a lump. But because we don't have cancer in our family, they wouldn't do anything more than do a mammogram. I have dense breast. It was not conclusive. They would not approve an ultrasound. They would have found the cancer. But no, we didn't find the cancer until I was 45. By the grace of God, I didn't die. It was growing. It was in the lymph nodes when he was found it, but it was slow growing. It was an invasive, slow growing cancer. That was God. But I have been trying to get people to listen, but I was intimidated to the point to where I was not as strong as I am now. I just got off the phone with them. What we know. We know we have the pulmonary, the PAPVR. That's when one of my tubes coming from the lungs, one of my veins is going straight to the right side, causing this pressure right where I feel it, the pain, because that right side of the heart is working too hard. It's only supposed to take blood from the body and get it oxygenated, but it's getting fresh blood also. It's been doing that ever since I was born. That's why I'm progressively getting worse and it's beginning to hurt. It's caused pulmonary hypertension. But they did some more measurements in my heart and they said, well, we don't think it's serious enough to treat despite the water weight, which is a sign of beginning of right heart failure. I'm swelling in my belly, in my legs, in my ankles. I had to figure that out, you all. Nobody thought anything of. I've been saying all this time, I am healthy. I'm exercising. I've never had trouble losing weight. I've gained 30 pounds 2 times for no reason. And when I figured out, and I was doing all the stuff that you're supposed to do, I know how to eat healthy. I know how to take good supplements. I know how to stay active. I know how to make sure that my caloric intake is less than my activity. I know all that. I have 3 children, you all. My third, every child, I left the hospital with a flat stomach, except, and I'm not bragging. It's just, I know what I need to do. Some people do gain extra weight in pregnancy. With my third child, emergency C-section. People said, you're not going to be able to get a flat belly anymore. In 6 months, I had one. Not because I'm better, it's because I knew the science on how the body works, because I studied that and I paid attention and I asked questions. So for me, someone like me who didn't have a thyroid problem and all of these things, who knew that too much cortisol will make you gain weight, to have all of this just happen to me twice, and to be treated like I'm just fat when I'm saying I should not be this size, only to find out the symptoms that I have and the stuff that I've been diagnosed with causes swelling in the ankles, legs to swell, belly to swell. So I started on my own doing natural things to help my body lose the water weight. Okay, so I'm talking to the PA, and she's talking, and she's a sweetheart. And I feel bad for them because they are now getting Sabrina, who is not going to be quiet anymore. If you're going to make all this money, you're going to answer. We're going to have questions. If I don't agree with something you said, I'm going to tell you right then. If I am needing more, I'm going to tell you. If I'm afraid, I'm going to tell you. And that's what I did. Because from what we're hearing, what I was hearing, my pulmonary hypertension is not enough to be treated. The insurance won't approve any treatments. So we got to wait till I'm worse. Worse? I'm already afraid before I go to bed if I'm going to wake up. These are things I told them. Not in this way, but it was just hearing the stuff and asking questions. And it boiled down to I'm already afraid. I'm having these throbbings in my neck. I know what that is. I know what it is to feel pressure up here. I know what all of that is. Oh, and then we have the right to left shunt. That means because of the pressure from the pulmonary hypertension, it has now caused blood. There's a hole in the heart to seep from the right side of the heart to the left side of the heart. Okay? So that's going on. That means unoxygenated blood is now mixing with oxygenated blood. My oxygen level saturation is very low. It's supposed to be, I think it's like 80 something to whatever. I was looking at some of my stuff. I'm sitting in the 60s for most of the part of it, which explains probably the lightheadedness. And, sometimes my lips are purplish colored and the fingertips are purplish. But she's saying, with what they're seeing on paper, it doesn't match with what my symptoms are. But I don't understand that if what my symptoms say, all the things, it causes all of the things that are on paper. Pulmonary hypertension, right heart trouble, all cause breathlessness, swelling, pain exactly where I'm having, throbbing in the neck, all of that. So because insurance won't approve a treatment, we're just not going to pay attention to it. Wait a minute. I mean, they're not going to pay attention to it. They see it, but they're not going to do anything. I'm breathless. I've been breathless now probably for about a year. A little bit that started. The weight gain that I've been trying to work on, that I have been working on, has been since 2018. But I'm just now getting breathless. It's not because of that, but we're going to take a water pill, which is going to help. We're going to watch my potassium levels. I'm okay with that. We're going to take a low level one to see where I am. Then we're going to check, in a week, 7 days to see where my potassium levels are. I'm okay with that. But what they're not understanding, without them putting on my chart what needs to be put on the chart, then I can't get, it is hard to get disability because what my symptoms and what I am experiencing does not match what they see on paper yet. So until I get really bad off, it's almost as if I can't get help. So we do not have a healthcare system. We have a sick care system. Because here we have someone who is visibly very much declining, but we can't do much about it. Now, I'm not saying they're not doing anything, but I'm just saying, hearing the words that she's saying, and she's saying, well, I'm just being very factual. Well, that takes the compassion out of healthcare. That means you can go home and go to sleep and somebody die and you wake up and go, oh, I guess it was worse. And that's the kind of thing that I did talk. I didn't say it that way, but I just said, I don't want to find out postmortem what is wrong with me. I am afraid to go to sleep, the pain so bad that I won't wake up in the morning, that these symptoms are so bad. They want to do a patch test again to where I wear a heart monitor. We can do that. They're not the most of, for what I've seen, I've had one. They weren't the most reliable on catching the palpitations I was having and the pain I was having. I'm not saying it won't now, but my deal is, we do all this stuff, they get frustrated because they're going in a direction, just whatever, when it's all spelled out for me. I am seeing very clearly that upper left lobe partial anomalous pulmonary venous return does cause pain. That even though pulmonary hypertension may not be able to be treated with the medicines, what about giving me some kind of oxygen to give me relief so I can breathe? That the extra weight that came on, it cannot just now, 7 years later, cause breathlessness. I mean, come on now, none of that makes sense. I can't breathe. They're not seeing water here. They're seeing too much blood and oxygen, that all of that. That's what they are seeing. So I am praying that when this next doctor does the right heart catheter, he's going to be more intelligent. I pray that he finds what it is, or I get a miracle. Now, guys, the reason I am the way I am, I grew up in church. I believe in faith. When I say in church, I grew up in faith churches. Excuse me. I grew up in faith churches. And I believe in speaking the word. And I know that the word works. I've had so many people say, because I've been prayed for, and they would say, oh, you're healed. You just got to speak it. Well, I did speak it. And I did do this. But the Holy Spirit also told me you need to go to the doctor, because that's when we were able to find whatever. I know too many people who are in the grave who got prayed for. Their symptoms never disappeared. They went through every day with their lives declining, saying, I'm healed, but would not go take care of whatever needed to happen. And they are not here. You all, that is not something I want. That's why I am pursuing life. And I felt bad the last time even talking to them so candidly. But it wasn't, I learned with my cardiologist, the one I had here in town, when I saw him and he was like, well, it can't cause pain. And I'm saying, but it is. That's when he did his first echo. That's when he saw that there was a little bit of a problem, but he still did not find the heart defect. Somebody else found the heart defect, just a tech doing a CT scan. Thank God for that tech. And then they did another echo because I was persistent to find out, okay, yes, and it was because of my persistence that they did the right heart catheter where they found the pulmonary hypertension. So I'm getting more results by being more persistent and more vocal. I don't want to be that person. I want to be liked, but I'm learning that being liked is not going to keep me alive. But being persistent and vocal and respectful, I'm respectful, but persistent and vocal is what's going to keep me alive. And I am advocating for myself. So when she's telling me this stuff, I'm going, so you're telling me all of this stuff. And I'm going, but this is the progression of it all. How do we explain that? And I'm also telling them, if I don't have something on my chart that says that this has caused me for these things for good reason, I can't get, it is harder for me to get disability. So that's where I am. I thank God he's kept me alive all this time. Praise you, God. You've kept me alive. Because this mess right here, this system we're in, the way we do business medically, is why a lot of people are suffering unnecessarily and are not here. So I'm going to keep doing my stuff naturally, you all. I'm going to keep it up. I'm going to keep looking. I'm going to find my natural stuff. Oh, something else I start taking soursop. Oh my gosh, that has been really, really good. And so I'm just going to keep doing what I know to do and keep pursuing life. Keep exercising. Continuing to eat right. Now that I know I have pulmonary hypertension, watch my salt intake because that's going to help make me swell more, which I've been doing already. Eat foods that are natural diuretics to help my body. I wish I could say. I mean, it's like I go from these highs. Well, it's not even it's not even a pendulum swing. It's just there's hope, and then there's clinging to hope. I've got to trust God through this. Anyway, I hope that you see me and what I'm going through and realizing that being more vocal is going to help you than being the nice, polite person that just accepts any and everything. You might die before they come around. You just got to push. I sometimes wish I pushed harder, but I just didn't have it in me. I wasn't the person I am today. Maybe my experiences are what got me here. Maybe it's when I saw that growth was cancer that was being ignored. Maybe that's what did it for me. So take what did it for me, for you. Keep trying. And I'm just going to do what I know I can do. God knew I was going to be here before I got here. So he has given me everything I need according to the word of God, which pertains to life and godliness. So I'm just going to use what I know. Maybe this platform, maybe I need to write some books. Maybe I need to start a podcast. I need to get the word out. I mean, there are other people out there doing it. Maybe they need to hear it from a person who feels like I've got to do a song and dance just to be seen, just to be heard. I'm in pain, guys. Does that not matter? I'm not even asking for pain medicine. I'm asking for us to fix it. I always say that. Because, the skin color, I've heard from people that work in the hospital. They've told me. Sometimes brown people are just kind of treated like they just want pain medicine. Or some of my white friends go in and just have migraine and get pain medicine. I've been in much worse pain and left the hospital with nothing. But the good thing about that is I've never had a chance to get hooked on anything, which I wouldn't anyway, because even after when I was going through cancer, I wouldn't take hydrocodone because I didn't want to get hooked. I used other things, not medical marijuana, but I used red wine and just regular pain medicine when I needed it. But red wine, a little bit of red wine would knock my pain threshold down. And that's what would make it tolerable. And so, but God, I just encourage you all. This is why I wrote this. Have courage in trouble. Have courage in pain. Everything we do to move forward is not done in vain. Till next time.